All right, we've got an update on the Boeing contract. The only thing worth updating is finally happened. The tentative agreement was reached and it's been voted on. Over 90% of the workforce has rejected the contract and voted to strike. The strike started 5.5 hours ago. I personally am out of the country. We went to the job site, strike started, packed up our stuff, and left. So here we are. But let's talk about the contract. I think I'll get some hate for this. All in all, it's not a horrible contract. It's got some good things. It's got some bad things. There's some things that affect me personally differently than most people. Most of which I would say are good. And there's a lot of stuff that I just don't care about. I'm not going to talk about that stuff. So some of the good stuff, we are getting higher wages. There's additional money going to retirement. There's less mandatory overtime. There's more voluntary overtime, lower healthcare costs, probation period for new hires, which I think is great. Floating holiday, which is kind of interesting. I know a lot of people wanted more holidays. The first quarter of the year is holiday free, so that might be a good time to use that. Another interesting thing that I like is the ability to take the pension plan as a lump sum, or whatever the value of the pension is calculated to as a lump sum, and roll it into your retirement. That's one of my favorite things. Some of the bad stuff, we no longer are receiving an annual bonus. And the wage increase, I think, is a point of contention. They want to increase the wages 25% over 4 years, which in itself is great. However, since 2016, per all of the previous contracts, had a 2% general wage increase. And if we had kept that in place 2016 to 2024, we would have had a 17% higher wage from 2016. Instead, they had basically a 0.5% every year. And you can imagine that doesn't have the same value. Not to mention the inflation increases we've had in houses and gas and food. Necessities have all gotten very expensive. So mathematically, we make less money now than we did before. So I would say, in summary to that, 25% over the next 4 years would just put us where we should be today, effectively making us 4 years behind, which is better than 8 years behind. But I think the fair request is that we get caught up. And it seems, if you do like a 20% upfront now, and then go back to the 2% annual increase, to me that seems fair. It catches us up to where we should be, and then continues on with the standard wage increase that's designed to keep up with inflation, which obviously over the last 4 years has a different outcome. The annual bonus, I don't know if I mentioned that, that's gone. We were getting an annual bonus, which was nice, which was great. So they want to increase the wages and do some of these other benefits, but then take away something that a lot of people appreciated, including myself. Ratification bonus is also less than expected and less than normal. I've seen ratification bonuses up to $15,000, and this one is $3,000. I'm pretty sure people are not happy about that. Some of the things that affect me directly, being that I travel, is we get a slight bump in our travel pay. Our labor grade is going up from grade 9 to grade 10. The hotel to hotel pay seems to be now enforceable not only through Washington state law, but a little more clearly defined in the contract. There's still some contention in the group about paid lunches. We'll see how that plays out. Leads in our group are going to start getting the lead pay premium, so that's good. Some of the other notes: securing the next airplane program in the Puget Sound during the life of the contract, or the next 4 years of the contract. Somebody had made a good point that there's no new airplane that moving out of the Puget Sound is at risk. I'm not 100% sure about that. Boeing's always working on the next great airplane, but we'll see if they come up with something totally new in the next 4 years, and then they have to build it in the Puget Sound. That would be great. But with the 777X being the newest airplane, and production's already in the Puget Sound, and there's definitely 4 years of work on that airplane. So I think that one's still a little unclear. But anyways, Boeing, I guess, is in a tight spot, tough financial position. So Boeing's also stated that they have no interest in us being on strike, and that's not what they want. They say they're not going to benefit from it. That was my perception before. I still think there are certain benefits. So we'll see if they come back with something good soon, or if we're going to have to, wait a while. As far as paying your people more money, if you have a good standard for your employees, you will get what you pay for. And if you're at the bottom of the pay scale, you're going to get all the leftovers from the industry. So hopefully that's under consideration. My prediction that I had made has already failed, because I believe we were going to get a worse contract. So, either way, people are very unhappy. We're still going on strike. I don't know if it's going to be 2 months. It's not really good for anybody. So we're all prepared for it, though. So we'll see what happens. All right, keep them flying.